When the school year ended, 5 children from a small Cambodian village received a once-in-a-lifetime surprise. They were chosen to perform in a children's cultural show in Europe. The group included bright-eyed Dara, curious little Mony, cheerful brothers, Vannak and Vutha, and the quiet but talented dancer Lina. None of them had ever left their village. Airplanes were just stories in books. No, they were going to fly across the world. Their journey began with excitement and nerves. The airport was huge and dazzling. Everything felt fast. The escalators, the lights, even the language. But they stuck together, holding hands like a chain that couldn't be broken. It had been a long flight, and when the plane finally landed, they could hardly believe it. This was France, the land of cheese and wine, baguettes and berets. But all they could think about was the performance. After a quick stop at their hotel, they headed straight to the town square where they would perform. There was a grand stage all set up and waiting for them. It was like something out of a storybook. Old buildings surrounded the area and flowers hung from every balcony. As they walked around, local children waved and greeted them. "Bonjour," they shouted. The Cambodian children shyly returned the greetings, feeling like ambassadors of their country. The next few days were filled with rehearsals. The Cambodian children practiced their traditional dance under the watchful eyes of their teacher, while others from around the world prepared songs, plays, and instruments. Every evening after practice, they would get together and exchange stories in broken English and laughter. Though they didn't always understand each other's words, they shared smiles, snacks, and songs. They learned about each other's cultures and made new friends. There was Thomas, a lanky boy from Germany who loved to make jokes. Maria, a fiery girl from Spain who was learning the violin. And Kenzo, a shy boy from Japan who was practicing the taiko drum. They also met children from Portugal, Brazil, South Africa, and Italy. By the end of the week, they were all a big, happy, noisy mess. On the day of the show, Lina peeked from behind the stage curtain and whispered, "There are so many people." Dara squeezed her hand. "Let's show them who we are." The show began with a bang. Children from around the world took to the stage, and one by one they performed for the cheering crowd. When it was the Cambodian children's turn, they moved onto the stage in their colorful costumes, their faces painted with traditional designs. At first, Lina was nervous, but as soon as the music started, she slipped into character and became one with the dance. Her feet moved like water, graceful, proud, and full of soul. She twirled and leaped, telling stories with her body. The golden afternoon light hit their costumes and made them shine like jewels. The crowd watched in silence, then roared with applause. As the show went on, Lina found herself lost in the music. She wasn't just dancing, she was expressing her heart. Through her movements, she told tales of her homeland, its beauty, its people, and its traditions. The audience leaned forward, captivated by the energy and enthusiasm of the young performers. Meanwhile, back in Cambodia, Mr. Hem, the children's teacher, watched the live stream on his phone, his heart swelling with pride. He remembered when these children were just shy, unconfident students. Now they were ambassadors of their culture, sharing their heritage with the world. The show ended with a grand finale, a celebration of unity, peace, and friendship. All the children came together on stage waving flags and singing songs of hope. The audience rose to their feet, cheering and waving. Flowers rained down from the balconies, creating a colorful shower of appreciation. That night, under the stars, the children didn't sleep. They sat outside their hotel, their hearts full of wonder. They talked about their performance, their costumes, and the roaring applause. "I want to do it again," said Mony, his eyes shining. "Me too," added Vannak, "but I'm also a little bit tired." "It's okay," said Dara. "We can rest now. We did it." Vutha looked up at the stars and whispered, "It's so beautiful here." "It is," agreed Lina, "but home is beautiful too." They all fell silent, thinking of their families and the familiar sights and sounds of their village. They missed their homes, but they were also glad to have experienced something so big and exciting. The next morning, the children woke up early and went to the market to buy souvenirs for their families. They found colorful scarves, sweet coconut candy, and silver bracelets. Then it was time to say goodbye. As they stood in front of the old stone fountain in the town square, a local woman approached them. She had a basket of fresh bread and cheese. "For the children," she said with a smile. The children thanked her and shared the treats, making a small pile of crumbs around their feet. The birds gathered, chirping and fluttering around them. Soon it was time to leave. The children hugged their new friends and promised to stay in touch. Then they walked slowly toward the car that would take them to the airport. As they waved goodbye to the town, they knew they were taking a piece of its magic with them. When they arrived home, the whole village turned out to celebrate their return. Villagers of all ages gathered in the town square, some on their motorbikes, some walking, and some even riding in the back of pickup trucks. Colorful banners and handmade signs lined the streets. "Welcome home, heroes," one sign read. "We are so proud of you," said another. The children waved to their fellow villagers, their cheeks flushed with excitement. They had so many stories to tell, so many photos to show. The adults chatted and took pictures while the younger children ran around squealing with delight. As the sun set, the celebrations continued. The children put on a little show of their own, dancing and singing for the crowd. The villagers clapped and cheered, their faces lit up by the joyful performance. Later, sitting in a circle, the children recounted their adventures. The grown-ups listened patiently, their eyes twinkling with amusement. They too had been young once, and understood the thrill of a new experience. Then Mr. Hem spoke. "Our children have done more than just dance," he said. "They've become cultural ambassadors. They've shown the world what it means to be Cambodian." The villagers nodded in agreement. After the party, the children went home, their heads filled with dreams of far-off lands and adventures. They might have traveled halfway around the world, but they knew they had come home with something much bigger than souvenirs. They'd come home with memories that would stay with them forever. Each night before bed, they would lie in their mosquito nets and talk about their adventure. They reminisced about the cheers of the crowd, the taste of French bread, and the feeling of performing on a grand stage. They realized that although they were small children from a tiny village, they could achieve big dreams. They had danced in front of thousands of people. They had made friends from all over the world. They had experienced a culture different from their own. One night, as the fireflies twinkled outside their window, Lina whispered, "Do you think we'll ever go back?" "Of course," said Dara. "One day we will return to